I wanted to share some of my experience teaching a new undergraduate class at Yale Engineering in the fall called Disruptive Technologies and Responsible Innovation. I created the class because I wanted to engage students, both those who are passionate around technology and engineering and maybe are STEM majors, computer science or engineering, and those that aren't or maybe don't consider themselves STEM students. I wanted it to be accessible to both of those groups of students because technology and innovation is so essential to everything today, to every job and career, every company, every industry, every community. And so it seems to me there's a tremendous opportunity to expose all students to the mechanisms of innovation, to the way that technology works, and for the opportunities to leverage technology innovation in their daily lives and in their careers, and to do so in a responsible way. I think technology and innovation is really exciting. And I think that we have an opportunity to make it more accessible to everyone. I believe that for too long, we've had the science kids and the non-science kids, and the people who believe and understand how to leverage technology, and those that say, that's not for me. I don't think that today we can afford for that to continue because there isn't a day and a moment that goes by in which we're not touched by technology. We're using GPS to navigate from one place to another. We're using online internet services and Wi-Fi and our computers and our microchips in our everyday lives, connecting on our laptops, on our mobile devices, through our cars and our appliances, and so much more. This is not relegated to a select few with pocket protectors and in the back office. This is actually touching every single person every single day. And so, wouldn't it be wonderful if students, as they finished our college education and went off into the workforce, they had an understanding of technology, that they were equipped to use it effectively and to stimulate and create environments in which innovation happens? And so that's what I was going after. And we did that by diving into a number of incredibly influential technologies. We started with microchips and talked about how the transistor was invented and the environment in which the microchip emerged and then was advanced at such a rapid rate. The technologies that started at Bell Labs and then evolved through Fairchild Semiconductor and Intel and so many of these companies that emerged from a growing industry that was ambitious with the opportunity to ever increase the number of transistors on the chip and the density and the performance and the value that microchips now provide across almost anything you can think of. There are 300 to 1,000 chips inside every vehicle today. They're in our refrigerators, they're in our cell phones and our computers, of course, and so many things that we use all the time, which is why the availability of those capabilities, where they're manufactured, the supply chain challenges that we experienced during COVID are so relevant to everyone and to every industry. I had trouble getting a refrigerator during COVID when mine went on the brink. And we understood that by discussing where these chips are manufactured and how critical they are across different industries and sectors. We also talked about GPS technology developed by and for the military. We discussed how it works. We may use it every day to get from place to place, but most don't actually understand the mechanism of trilateration and how that location is precisely determined. Many didn't understand that that's actually a US owned uh, technology and that the signals are made available to commercial vendors who make the end user devices. Talked about challenges of data privacy and availability and the risks of if that technology were not available. And there are so many use cases beyond navigation, precision agriculture, and the timing, precise timing that's required for stock trades and other financial transactions. We discussed CRISPR technology and this tremendous gene editing capability that allows us to make modifications to the genome of organisms and has had a tremendous impact on agriculture, on human health, with the most recent first FDA approved solution to treat sickle cell disease. Talked about that innovation. Where and how did it happen? Largely in university academic settings. Talked about some of the key players that led to the recent Nobel Prize and the challenges around bioethics. And finally, we talked about the hottest topic of the day, generative AI, and the evolution across decades of artificial intelligence technology. Talked about how it works. We talked about why today is it evolving and generating so much interest and concern. Talked about the availability of massive amounts of data, compute power from that microchip revolution, and new models like large language models that have enabled such rapid progress, including getting tools and technologies such as ChatGPT into the hands of so many. I challenge the students to actually roll up their sleeves and use the technology to explore prompts, to identify hallucinations, to generate images, to summarize text, and to understand both the opportunities as well as the limitations. And through all of these examples, as well as additional ones that they researched on their own, we discussed what enables innovation. What are some of these best practices of environments that are ripe for discovery? We talked about some of the challenges of deployment and adoption of technology. And we discussed some of the key inhibitors as well as concerns around environmental impacts of microchips and AI, impacts on natural usage of natural resources like water and energy. We talked about data privacy and concerns there through GPS, bioethics, as well as the explainability, the trustworthiness of AI technology. In all these cases, thoughtful students were engaging around the pros and cons and ways of mitigating these risks. And in all, while we don't have all the answers, what I believe the students were able to grasp is they can understand technology. They can get deep enough to really understand how it works, that no technology is inherently good or bad, that it is a tool like any tool in your toolbox, and we'd be foolish not to take advantage of those tools for the right purpose, but that we need to be thoughtful about how it's developed, how it's deployed, and how it's used so that it is used equitably, fairly, thoughtfully, and responsibly, that we're considered impacts to society in the environment, and that we do so with a consideration around innovation, technology, science, society, and so on. These are all opportunities, and I believe that the students engaged thoughtfully and deeply on these many topics. I was proud of their engagement, and I'm sure I learned as much as they did from the discussions. And I'm also excited about what they'll do as they finish school, as they go out into the job market and to their communities, about how they'll apply the learning in their home life, in their professional lives. I think there's a huge opportunity for students everywhere and young people to engage technology in a new way. And I'm excited about what that will mean to the future.